Hey superstar, it's Gavin Speaks, and we need to prepare ourselves for what's coming in 2022 and beyond. We need to prepare ourselves emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Our lives are going to completely transform, and it's going to be a grand awakening. It's already happening right now. Millions of the people on the planet are waking up and realizing that I no longer want to be a part of this system, and we want a new system. And so one of the things that we have to do, the first thing that we have to do, I want to show you 3 things. The first thing that we have to do is surrender to the soul, right? Surrender to the soul completely. You're going to have a huge transformation just from doing this alone. Surrendering to the soul is trusting in your path here, trusting in your mission here. You're not here just to live this life for nothing, for things, for material things. There's something deeper. And many of you are searching for what is this thing I'm supposed to do? All right, we all have a soul's purpose. We can have multiple purposes in terms of the ego mind, but I think there's a grand purpose for the chosen ones. I think there's a grand purpose that you have and why you're here, and it's important to find that. And so surrendering to the soul, what does that look like? Surrendering to the soul is not listening to your brain, but listening to your soul. And you can drop down into your soul very easily, right? And we do that by switching the brain off. But Gavin, I can't switch my brain off. I find it hard to meditate and all of this stuff, right? Now, I want you to just observe right now that you're watching this video. Just observe that you're watching this video. Observe what's around you right now. Look around you. What's around you? What's surrounding? Maybe you're listening to me whilst you're driving. Maybe you're listening to me whilst you're watching the TV. Maybe you're listening to me from your phone, or maybe you're on a train or a bus or something like this, and you're listening to me. Just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your skin. Be aware of your eyes. Be aware of your body. Be aware that you are aware. Be aware that you're conscious. Be aware that you are a being and you're functioning and your heart's beating right now. Be aware, be aware, be aware. And as you be aware, you have stepped into your soul. Okay, your soul is the awareness. Okay, your soul is the awareness. All right, and that's what we gotta surrender more to, is that soul. And it's much more intelligent than the brain. Okay, what we call intelligence in this reality is your IQ, right? Your intellectual grades, your qualifications, how smart you are. Someone created a system that says this is smart, this is not smart. Are intelligent people smart? And what we call curriculum, going to school, getting an education, all that, are they smart? No, the system, other people's egos has judged this person as smart. But if you don't follow the system, then you are not smart. If you're not getting those grades, if you didn't do well in school, right, or your brain's not quick or whatever it is, you are judged as not smart. If you're not able to think these grand ideas or whatever it is, now you're not smart. That's your opinion, that's your ego. I'm not gonna listen to that. The soul doesn't have this kind of grading system. The soul doesn't measure, right? The soul is not measuring, it just is, okay? And it has its own intelligence, and it calls through you, that tiny voice in the head sometimes, that urge to do something. A lot of us feel that urge to do something, but then we stop, because it's scary, it's outside your comfort zone. This is where the ego gets in the way, and we gotta learn how to surrender. And so the first step is surrendering to the soul completely. How do we do that? Again, be aware that you're watching me right now. Be aware that you are listening to me right now. Be aware that you are seeing through your eyes or hearing through your ears. Be aware that you are functioning, your arms are moving, you're breathing. Be aware, right? As you be aware, you can sort of tap into this sort of plane where it's flat. There's no up, down, left, right, it just is. Everything just is. You're not judging anything as something, it just is. That's where you want to be. And when you get into that isness, you will attract your isness, your business, right? And when I say business, I'm talking about your mission here, okay? And so allow it to come through you, allow it to come to you. Once you surrender to that more and more, if you make that a habit on a daily basis to continually do that, things will unfold for you in magical ways. The soul is not necessarily going to communicate with you via speaking or voice in your head. It might happen through other people. You might be watching a video of me, maybe because you set the intention to connect with your soul. My next video that I put out is the most perfect video just for you, so that you're going to be able to transform your life in powerful ways, because you surrendered to the solar system. And now that you're surrendered to the solar system, you are one, what we call oneness. And so we're all connected. And that's what I tap into when I'm creating these video content, is I don't just put out content to put out content. I'm tapping into the Most High. I'm tapping into my archangels. I'm tapping into the collective consciousness. And through me tapping into that, I'm able to share messages that are aligned with where you're at in your life right now. And so here I am. And the next video that I put out, because of you surrender to your soul, right? It might be so right for you where you need to be. So it might come through other people, right? God or the universe shows up in a bunch of different ways. You might see it in a movie. You might see it on a comedy. You might see it at work. Something just happens, something just clicks, and you're like, okay. Everybody say, okay.
Okay.
In the description, but okay, right? In the description. Because once you get that, okay, that's when you're like, your life is going this way. Like, you're going on your own path. You're going on your truth. You're opening up to God's power, the universe, right? Surrender to your soul. The second thing that you need to do to emotionally, spiritually, mentally prepare for what's coming in 2022 and beyond is creating a spiritual support network, okay? And this is twofold. The first fold is a spiritual support network in the external environment, the 3D reality, joining a tribe, a group, a community that's in alignment with where you are at in your level of consciousness right now, okay? So for example, if you're just going plant-based, maybe you want to join a plant-based community. That's where your mind's headed. That's what you're into. Maybe it's joining a meditation class because you're into meditation right now. Maybe it's a yoga class or whatever it is. You need to be in an environment where you're supported because you're different, right? And it can get lonely on this spiritual journey. And so to get that mental, emotional, spiritual support, it's good to be around others who think like you, all right? So that could be going to retreats and meeting people. That could be, going to a class or something of this nature where you're in an environment that sustains who you are as a person. It's very hard to be your true, authentic self when you're surrounded by people who don't understand who you are. And stay true to who you are. It just makes it that little bit easier to put yourself in environments where you know that actually I am an alien and I'm going to be around other aliens. Does that make sense? And what I mean by alien is just being different, right? Instead of trying to fit into the mold, trying to be like everyone else, trying to fit in with what everyone else is doing. Embrace who you are, embrace your authentic self by being who you truly are, by being around the right people, being around the right support network. Second fold is finding the spiritual equivalent to having a spiritual network. What do I mean by that? You need to know and tap into who are my archangels, who are my ancestors. Look at your family history to know, who has passed away, right? Who's passed away and who's here to support, or even just calling on the ancestors, right? Calling on your ancestors for support in what you're doing. And I would say call on the ancestors of love and light only, right? Of truth only. You don't want to be calling on the ancestors that are of the wrong spirit, okay? Because then you're calling the wrong energies, okay? Be careful who you call on in the spiritual realm, all right? So you're going to call on the ancestors of love and light, of truth, of unconditional love, of the Most High, right? The most pure, the most truth. Call on that and tap into that energy, tap into those energies. Know who your archangels, your angels, your spirit guides, whatever name or label, whatever you're into, you need to get into that. Just make sure it's of truth. Also, you can use your imagination to imagine a physical support network in your head. I know it sounds crazy, but you can create this table in your mind where you have a support network, like a meeting, like a conference room, and you can ask people questions. Okay, you can put certain people around your table and ask them questions and have a dialogue and what they would do in this particular situation. Okay, very, very, very powerful stuff. I took this from Napoleon Hill's work. I believe it's in the Laws of Success book that he created, where you create the mastermind within the mind. Okay, so you can put financially successful people around your table. You can put relationship successful people around your table. You can put health successful people around your table and ask them what you would do in this situation or that situation, and get the feedback. Because now you're going to step into and tap into their energy. You're going to tap into the mastermind and really create that for yourself. So not only will you have an internal mastermind, you're going to have an external mastermind too. This is tapping into the infinite intelligence through your subconscious mind, through your brain. Okay, so very, very powerful stuff. The third thing that you need to do to prepare yourself for what's coming emotionally, spiritually, mentally in 2022 and beyond is asking yourself, what's the worst, most possible, imaginable thing that can happen from now on, and building comfort with that. I know it sounds strange, but this is how you get the mind to calm down. This is how you get your mind to stop focusing on the future. This is how you get the mind to relax and get out of anxiety, of fight or flight. You want to ask yourself, what is the worst, most possible thing that can happen, and build a relationship with what could potentially go wrong, okay? And this is actually interesting because there's a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and basically this is kind of outwitting the devil, right? You are building harmony within the self, meaning you are outwitting what's going on in the external environment. Does that make sense? You want to be able to be calm in the chaos. You want to be able to be calm no matter what. This is called equanimity, right? Stillness within, no matter what's going on externally. Building the emotional, mental, and spiritual resilience to be able to handle whatever's coming, right? And in order to do this, right, in order to be able to achieve this, we need to ask ourselves, what is the worst, most possible thing that can happen in my reality, or what I assume might happen in my reality, and then building a relationship with it. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say the most worst thing that can happen is that, the governments or whatever take over the world, or there's an Armageddon, it's the end of the world, or whatever it is, right? Well, what you can say is, I don't know whether or not that's truly going to happen. My imagination's running away, and all these people are telling me all this stuff. My imagination is running away. Imagination is imagination. It hasn't actually happened. And so it's outside of my control, so why would I worry about it? I can do something about it by contributing, maybe, communicating with people, maybe starting a YouTube channel, whatever it is, right? You can go out there and be an activist, for example, right? And protest, or whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you feel called to do. But you understand what I'm saying is you want to give the mind another perspective. It's like, okay, what can I do? What's within my control? Where is my power at, right? Instead of giving my power away to what potentially might happen, because you don't actually know, right? And we have to understand as well is that if we reflect on ourselves and say, hey, I'm a chosen one, I'm here for a reason, and that is for more than what's happening on the planet right now, that I'm a powerful being and I can change the lives of others, or I can do something within myself to feel my power. Now you're giving yourself your power back, right? You're back in truth, okay? Instead of falling into the fear, you're gonna fall into the love. Fall in love, right? People fall in fear too much and focusing on what could potentially might happen, what could go wrong and all of this stuff. Obviously, you wanna prepare yourself like you are watching this video, but as long as you surrender to love, as long as you surrender to your soul, you are okay, okay? The world that you're experiencing right now, this 3D reality, is not even close to who you truly are, okay? Understand that, okay? This is just a glimpse in time. And if you instill that, if you recognize that fully, deeply, completely, that whatever happens to you, whatever happens in life, you will be okay. So as long as you surrender to the Most High, so as long as you surrender to your truth, so as long as you surrender to your heart, so as long as you surrender to unconditional love, so as long as you surrender to your soul, that's all that matters. Your ego is always going to take you away. It's always going to worry. It's always going to panic. It's always going to have anxiety. Okay, that's why the first step is to surrender to your soul, because that's where your true power is at, and it takes away a lot of worry. It might take your ego mind to catch up a little bit with your new mindset, your new way of thinking. But once your whole subconscious mind is aligned with surrendering to your soul, aligned with surrendering to the Most High, and building trust and a relationship with the Most High, with God, with the universe, now you're not worried about anything, right? You have your truth back. I really do love supporting you in this way. And if you would like more contact with me and my tribe, my community, and really getting into that space where you're in an environment that manufactures success in the material world, but also in the spiritual world, it all starts out by getting your free energy reading and your manifestation diagnosis session. This chart on screen right now determines how quickly things happen for you, how quickly your life transforms, how quickly you manifest. But not only that, it allows you to connect more with the Most High. It allows you to connect more with the soul, because your vibration is at a completely different level, all right? You need to raise your vibration correctly, okay? And so the free energy reading and manifestation diagnosis session is going to talk to you more about that. The link is in the description, or you can head to alchemyenergyreading.com. Check out my previous video over here, and check out my 3-part unlisted secret series on raising your vibration correctly. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.